Manchester United away at Watford, international football break is over. Really pleased with that, but I think the international break for Manchester United really come at probably the best time it could have possibly come for Manchester United. To be honest, we had a decent result and performance against Burnley, which got us back to winning ways, and we weren't really on a roll. So the previous games were horseshit. So it was probably the best time that it came, really. And Manchester United got to go again against Watford. Hopefully this has derailed Watford, to be honest, because Watford were on a roll before. They've won every single game that they've played this season, so I'm hoping that Manchester United can derail them and get the victory. I'm not overly confident because Watford have performed decent this season. Okay, Tottenham weren't great. To be honest, Tottenham weren't at their best against Manchester United, to be honest, certainly first half, but collective errors cost Manchester United more than the fact that Tottenham blew Manchester United away. You'd think that when we lost 3-0 against them at home, you'd think that Tottenham would have blown us away. But it was individual errors that cost Manchester United at home against Tottenham. Now, obviously Watford going in on the back of that victory against Spurs, but this is a completely different game. So Manchester United have got to go in and be confident that we can get the victory, and it will really hopefully then kick-start Manchester United season if we can get victory in this game. But we've got a few injury concerns, so Jose Mourinho may have to shuffle the pack from that game against Burnley last time out. Now, Luke Shaw has been injured on international duty, and I can't see him starting this one, so obviously David Hale will be in goal. I would go for Delot at left back if it was me picking, but it's going to be Ashley Young. I'm pretty sure of that, which doesn't give me confidence in the back four, because the back four, probably I would go for Delot, Smalling, Lindelof and Valencia, which isn't ideal at all, but he will probably go with Ashley Young and Phil Jones in there if Phil Jones has recovered from injury. And that is going to be a horrifying thought, because I never ever thought that after last season, when we ended the season with them players at the back, that we would ever see them four play again in a Manchester United shirt as a collective four, and it does look like that could potentially happen in this game. And it is really worrying, because that back four is absolutely fucking diabolical. All five of our back five will be, if we play them against Watford, will have been Fergie players, and that is atrocious. Okay, David Hare obviously fantastic in goal and should still be in goal, but the others shouldn't still be playing for Manchester United. It's just incredible that we still have, after all the money we've spent. But midfield, Fellaini pulled out of the Belgium squad, so he may not play in this one. Played well against Burnley, but shouldn't be starting week in, week out for Manchester United. That was why we bought Fred. Fred's played some minutes for Brazil, so hopefully he stands him in good stead going into this one. He will probably come back in if Fellaini can't feature in this one, so it'll be Fred, Matic, Pogba, I'll presume. Then Lukaku will be up front. There's no Rashford. Rashford had a good international break, so it's a good break for Manchester United players, with Lukaku also scoring 3 goals and Rashford getting 2. It's good to see Rashford getting on the score sheet, and I know a lot of people are criticising the fact that he hasn't got many minutes for Manchester United. Guys, the guy's still only 20 years of age. He will feature a lot of times this season for Manchester United. It's just disappointing that he got himself sent off against Burnley, because he will probably, I would expect, feature against young boys in the Champions League. But that game against Derby County in the League Cup was another great opportunity for him to get some more minutes this season, and it's not going to happen in that one. He's going to miss 3 English games, but it might be a good thing that he misses that one in the end. But because if he's going to be a starter on the back of them England performances, we'll have to wait and see. But he could well become a starter. It's just a lot of people want to see him up front with Lukaku, or on his own up front without Lukaku, and not out in a wider position. But we will just have to wait and see what happens. You never know what might happen over the season. Lukaku might get some sort of injury. He's not going to play 60 odd games. Hopefully we qualify from the Champions League group. If we do qualify with more than one game, with a game to spare or something, then it gives other players a chance to maybe try it in their natural position. Maybe if we've got a lead in the second position or something in the Champions League group, he might still also go and give Rashford a chance in that number 9 position. Say that we're ahead of Valencia, or say in second position and they're in third by quite a way off, then obviously Manchester United getting through the groups the main thing of the Champions League, and maybe we'll try that out. Who knows? But we will just have to wait and see. But it will be for this game. Lukaku, probably Lingard and Alexis Sanchez will probably make up the other two players in attack. Now, Jesse Lingard performed very well against Watford last season, scored that great solo goal, so he could have a massive impact in this game. But Watford were diabolical in that first half in that game last year, and Manchester United were going 3-0 up. And Watford seem to be playing a lot better than that at home at this moment in time. And I think they've only lost one game at home under this current manager, but we will just have to wait and see. I mean, the wheels could fall off Watford at any time. We just don't know. I mean, at the moment they're looking good stead to stay above the drop zone and survive this season, but we're only a few games into the season. A lot can change. Yeah, but they've got the likes of Pereira and Troy Deeney's a handful up front, so they're going to cause Manchester United a lot of problems up front. And Manchester United's defence has got to be on the ball, because Troy Deeney could cause Phil Jones and Chris Smalling a hell of a lot of problems in this game. But I'm expecting Manchester United to give it a good go and try and get the victory in this game, because nothing other than victory for me is going to be any good for Manchester United in this encounter. We have to be going there and doing our utmost best to win the game. I'm not too sure if we can claim all 3 points. Although, as I say, I wouldn't look too much into the fact that Tottenham got beat there and Tottenham beat Manchester United to say that we can't beat Watford. I mean, Tottenham didn't perform very well on the day, but Manchester United have definitely got the better players, obviously, than Watford. So we should be looking to have the upper hand in this game. There's no question it's not good enough for Manchester United if they can't perform better than these sides. I mean, you're looking at that game against Brighton, and that was absolutely atrocious for Manchester United. Yes, you can lose a game, but to lose a game like that where you get outfought, outplayed, completely outclassed, is just not acceptable for Manchester United against the team. No disrespect to these type of teams, but teams that have got less quality of players than Manchester United. On your day, yes, I can understand that any team can lose a game, and if you don't have the rub of the green or a player makes a mistake, then I can understand losing. But to be completely outplayed and perform so poorly like we did against Brighton, that is just not acceptable for me. And Manchester United have really got to up it if they are to beat Watford from that game. But it does give me a bit encouraging signs that we did beat Burnley, even though that Burnley game wasn't against the best of teams. Performances so far this season, because of the fact that they've got the Europa League, which didn't really help their cause, but now they're out of it, so Burnley may even kick on now. But over the past few seasons, going to Burnley had been difficult, so that could have potentially been another banana skin. But if we don't win this game, there will be question marks asked over Manchester United. We've still, obviously, I haven't mentioned Anthony Martial coming into the team. Obviously he will be fresh because he hasn't played for a number of weeks. He didn't even feature for Manchester United against Tottenham or Burnley, so he could come off the bench at any given time. He did score against Watford last season away at Vicarage Road, so he could still cause problems, but it does seem like he's really out of favour at Manchester United now, and probably him moving on will probably happen in the next year or probably less than year, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go in January, because he hasn't yet signed a new contract. And to be honest, if Jose Mourinho does stick around any longer than past next summer, there's no chance really Anthony Martial will be a Manchester United player any longer. I think that he will not sign a new contract if Jose Mourinho is going to stay at Manchester United. It's a bit different to Paul Pogba. At least Paul Pogba is actually getting game time, whereas Martial is rarely ever featuring for Manchester United. So whether both players have got a problem with the manager, I think it would be Martial that's probably the one that's more likely to go first, due to the fact that he's not getting any game time, whereas at least Paul Pogba is playing the majority of matches for Manchester United. But as I say, I think Jesse Lingard probably could be key for Manchester United, and obviously Alexis Sanchez as well could be two key areas that Manchester United could look to use in order to unlock Watford in this game, because Alexis Sanchez also looking refreshed in the pre-season, and obviously he looked very good against Burnley, so that is good for Manchester United to see. We just got to keep him fit. He didn't play obviously for Chile, so that is good news for Manchester United. Hopefully he doesn't feature too much for Chile now that he's knocking on to getting nearest to 30. Manchester United need to be benefiting from him over Chile. Anyway, make sure to like the video. I'm going to go for a Manchester United draw in this game, 1-1. I think we're going to struggle to get the victory in this game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon.